So, y'all, I won't be giving people a lot of time to get in here. I won't be playing any music. We just gonna get it straight in. All right, I'm gonna give a few seconds, um, but I'm not gonna give a lot of time. We're gonna jump straight into it because I don't have a lot of time. We're gonna deal with Martin Luther King's dream and the dream of what it seems to be the dream that Black people share with Martin Luther King to this very day, and how my dream differs. All right. Y'all hit that like button on your way in. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to get in here and then we're going to get started. So, y'all, first and foremost, shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. And everybody understands that this is Martin Luther King Day, his birthday. The white man and his mama, the American 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up, incorporated government decided to give Martin Luther King a holiday. We understand that this government does not reward revolutionaries with holidays. We understand that. Okay. What they did was they froze Martin Luther King. They froze him. They froze his life. And they gave us the Martin Luther King, the speech, the I Have a Dream speech that they wanted people to remember. They wanted that to resonate with people because Martin Luther King's dream had a whole lot of cave shit going on, right? Unity between uh, the black man and woman and the white man and woman in this country. That was his dream. Now, those of us who understand Martin Luther King's life, who understand, you know, what he started talking like, the speeches that he gave about reparations and working class people, those speeches are not put out front as to why this country honors Martin Luther King. They honor him for being the type of Negro that America likes, the kind that is looking for and seeking cave approval. This is the only reason they revere Martin Luther King. This is why you'll see a lot of times these fucking racists out here quoting him because they just look at him as the type of black person that could see through their flaws and still want to hold their fucking hands. And this was an entire movement. Okay. America liked that. The fact that they could enslave, Jim Crow, privatize prison complex, lynch full blown, they could do all of this, and we still are seeking to them, seeking to unify with them, seeking to get approval from them in every facet of our lives. Cave approval is the most important thing to Black people. Okay, by and large, sadly enough. So when we talk about Martin Luther King's dream, we must understand that that is the mentality of most Black people. My dream, a little different. That's why I call this that. My dream don't look like Martin Luther King's dream in any type of way. I could give a fuck less about the caves. I could give a fuck less about seeking their acceptance. My dream looks vastly different. Because if we really think about it, as far as the I have a dream aspect of what Martin Luther King was talking about, Black people being able to go into establishments where white people own the establishment, well, we can kind of say that his dream came true. That's all he wanted. He wanted Black folk to turn the other fucking cheek. In the name of his Jesus, this is how America wanted him to be remembered. They froze him at that speech. They froze him at that moment in time. And Black people are still there. It is very important, very, very important to America that Black people still have the same dream that Martin Luther King had. And sadly enough, we do. When I talk about seeking white acceptance being the most important thing to Black people, this is what most Black people are doing out here. This is what they're doing. My dream looks like us having actual Black pride and instilling our children with that said pride so we could pass that down through our lineage. That's what my dream looks like. Fuck the caves. Fuck what they think. Fuck what they're doing. Stand up for ourselves. If the motherfucker even swing at you, not even hit you, and we're not even talking about connecting any actual hits. If the motherfucker even look like they want to swing, you drop their motherfucking bitch ass. Them type dreams I'm having out here, to where our kids love themselves, as opposed to the Black people that we see out here that are fucking self-haters, where we're going to change our hair, change our fucking faces. We feel as though we're ugly because that's what the fucking white man and his mama said. And we're trying to prove to them that we're beautiful by looking like them. We're trying our best. Still to this very day, we're trying our best to look the part, to seek their acceptance. We took on their religion. We've taken on their ideology as far as their lifestyle, their relationships. We talk about that here. We really want to be them in blackface. That's all we want. They told you need to walk upright, talk right, do all this, get the education. All these things matter. Get the money, move into areas where they are. That's the dream, the American dream. This is the reality. This is why you must still be trying to convince Black people that this system is not for them. And it's sad that we're not getting those lessons at home. We're not being taught those things at home. Mm. Roland Randolph. Okay. I understand what you're saying, bro. He actually said he had integrated his people into a burning building. I do understand that, but that's why I said that they froze him in time. They froze him at the I have a dream speech. This is not me. I know what all he said. We're talking about why America honors him. They don't honor him for what you're saying. He said, if that makes sense to you. That's not why he's being honored. That's not why he was given a holiday today. That's not what happened. So we got to understand that that's the aspect I'm speaking of here. If that makes sense. I know what he said. I understand what he said. Good Lord. Okay, hold on. Mr. Dogs is, I think Mr. Dogs is understanding or wanting me to see his comments as to do I believe white supremacy exists. I believe there is a system in place that favors the caves over black people. And however you want to word that, that's up to you. Okay. Whether it's white supremacy to you, whether it's institutional racism to you, it doesn't really matter. The terms that you use, there is a system in place. The the Americas are against yo black ass. So you can chalk that up as to whatever terms you want to put with it. Okay, it is what it is. All right. Now understand that you know it's black people that don't believe that there is a system. We are the type of people that have been convinced that working harder will make white people accept us. Okay, we believe that'll get us on equal footing with the white man and his mama, and we know that um, as it couldn't be true for individual black people, that is not true for the group, us as a whole. It's not true for us. We can just look at how the justice system, the so-called justice system, handles us. So whether or not a person would believe so-called in white supremacy doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. When you get in front of that judge, there's a reality that you must deal with. That a white man or woman that is charged for the same crime that you are charged with, they have a good chance of getting off or getting a so-called slap on the wrist. They're going to get a slap on the wrist, and where you might get 1,000 years. You see what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. Again, however you want to term that, that's on you. However you want to turn it, that's on you. So it is what it is. But Sunkist says, I'm happy. We woke up. We will not assimilate over nope. That's good. I'm glad a few of us have woken up to that, but many of us are still in la la fucking land, right along where Dr. King was when he gave his speech about little black kids holding hands with little white kids and all this shit. What he should have been, his dream should have consisted of us saying, fuck them little white kids. They can grow up and fight against and end the racism, the institutional racism, and the system that they set out here against us. Who gives a fuck about holding their motherfucking hands? That's not something that is a part of my dream. My dream a little bit different. I'm trying to see black boys and girls holding each other's hands in solidarity. That's my dream. I could give a fuck whether it caves anywhere in sight. Getting our people on the same page. That's the dream for me. If that makes any sense. That's the dream for me. Black men and women coming together Given being given that mentality as children and seeing that mentality through well into adulthood. That's my dream. I holding hands and going in businesses where white folk at, that's just not where I'm at with it. And I know that to black people, that makes me radical, that makes me militant, that makes me even racist to many black people. But we have to understand that that is the mentality that America is afraid of. They're not afraid of you wanting to hold their hands because they know they're gonna keep slapping your hand away, and you're gonna keep reaching your hand out to grab for theirs, and they're gonna keep slapping your shit down. They know that, and they're gonna do that into perpetuity. That's what they're gonna do. That's like gonna treat you reaching out to grab their fucking hand. That's what they're gonna do with your hand. They're gonna slap it away, and you're gonna be like, they didn't mean it, and you're gonna reach your hand back out. That's what it is. K. Biggins asks, how do you implement the dream in today's society? I can't say that I know how to implement the dream in today's society because black people aren't interested. Again, black people have the same dream Martin Luther King had, by and large. The implementation of my ideas are not something that black people even care about. Again, black people look at loving ourselves as racist, and thus we don't want to look racist in this white society. We want to look loving, we want to be accepted, and therefore we're not going to seek the way, again, the way my dream is set up. Black people aren't interested in that because we value acceptance over self-love. Acceptance of the caves is over self-love. That's where we are. That's where we are. That's where we've been for quite some time now. So you still have people, black people, who are forgiving racism. We have black people out here that are full blown, cooning it up on a pretty much daily basis, that are speaking to and for black people as to, well, we just need to work a little bit harder, right? We need to work harder. Uh, we need to, and as we work harder and get the education, then and only then will we be accepted by the white man and his mama. That's our dream. Our dream looks like them. I'm gonna see them, kind of with the wind blowing, with their little dog ass hair in slow motion, and them holding their arms open, waiting for us as we skip towards them, smiling big as fuck, waiting for them to accept us. That's how it is. That's where black people are. Look at the state of black men and women. We just want to get by, pay our bills, secure a bag. Black pride, that is shunned by black people. That's shunned. It's militant. Even Martin Luther King, at the time that he gave this speech, that was something he shunned. That, like, nah, we don't be fighting up. Don't be standing up for yourself. Don't fight back. Just let them beat the shit out of you. Let them do you however they want to do you, and you just keep going back, and they'll see that you are such a good person or such a non-violent person. Because we've been trying to prove that we're not violent to the most violent people on the goddamn planet. That's what we've been doing with our time. Trying to prove to the most violent people on this planet that we're not violent. Y'all seen the pictures. I mean, you've seen black people be attacked, both verbally and physically attacked, even children just trying to go to the schools. You see these pictures of these vile faced ass caves. These are the people we're trying to prove that we are, better than stooping to that level. I'm not. I'm not above it. I don't feel like I'm stooping to any level, motherfucker. You can get dropped. And if you motherfucking put your hands on me or any one of mine, I do not forgive. I don't give a fuck what the Bible say. I don't give a fuck what cave Jesus said. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Could care less about any of that. But that type of language is shunned amongst black people. And we pass this down to our children. And thus, our children grow up confused, not fully understanding racism, believing that somehow, if they can convince, white people that they are non-threatening and they're educated now, and I talk better than them thugs. My pants ain't sagging. My hat's not backwards. I don't even listen to hip hop. I don't even engage in any of that niggatry that y'all seem to hate. I'm different. I'm better. This is what we teach our children. This is what we teach our children. So we have to be weary of that. I believe, anyway, of passing that mentality down. Now, Roland, I understand your perspective. Says Rob, the nonviolent movement was brought to Dr. King. Understand, I know all this, brother. I think you're getting confused what I'm saying. Like, I don't care. I don't care who brought it to him. I understand all of that. I feel you. Um, that doesn't change the fact that that's kind of the mentality he had. It doesn't change that. And I'm not even necessarily speaking against him. I'm speaking against his dream. And I always will. Um, I always will speak against that dream. Not saying that that's the sum of his entire life, but I know I'm all set on his dream. Like I don't know what you want me to do, brother. I really don't. Right. Mike, exactly. He co-signed it. Like that's not a workable. He co-signed it in the 60s. So that means he looked over 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, hundreds. He was able to say, "Hey, you know, it's cool. Nonviolence will work." I don't see how he ever was able to come to that conclusion. Now, I do understand, based on his religion, um, I do understand his ideology because, again, he's, they assassinated him. Now, the U.S. government did assassinate him, most definitely, because he was changing his tune. Right? This is real. Uh, they assassinated him, but per that religion, you hear black people forgiving white people for racism right now. So you can say that he was given that ideology, but Christians act like this right now per the religion. They act like that, full blown. So it's like, it just is what it is, bro. I don't know what you want me to do. Mr. Dog says, Rob, why do black people depend on the welfare state? I think the question should be asked, why do the caves depend on the welfare state? I think the question should be um, asked to the group that benefits uh, the most from the welfare state, not asking black people why they depend on the welfare state. I think you first need to check with the caves. The welfare state is one aspect of that is black people accepting handouts from the Democrats, but we also have to look at what capitalism has done to the people to make a lot of times those programs necessary for people to feed their children and to make ends meet and things like that. I'm not going to look at black people and shame black people when the caves are the ones who are the majority of the people on welfare. Like I'm not. I don't even think that makes any sense. Not to me personally. Again, I can't, speak to how anybody else thinks about this. Um, but for me, the question needs to be asked about the caves, depending on the welfare state, um, because we're not the biggest benefactors of the welfare state. I think that's a shaming tactic that even other black people employ to shame black people for the effects of what capitalism has done to the entire world, to the entire world. You know, black people being born in areas where there are no jobs, ghettos, that's not something that specifically you can just control where you're born. You see what I'm saying? But when you go out to the trailer parks, nobody talks about the welfare state in the trailer park. Why is that? Nobody talks about that. Not one person, not even black people. Black people want to talk about black folk on welfare in the ghettos. They don't say anything about the caves in the trailer parks who by far vastly outnumber black people in the ghettos. Nobody talks about that. So I think to have the conversation about the welfare state, you must then begin to chip away at what capitalism is. And if not, then we can't, you know, we can't just keep trying to shame black folk for being on welfare. I can see if there were jobs for everybody, and then maybe, well, shit, it's jobs for everybody in this whole nation. What are y'all doing? We know that's not the case in the ghettos. Not no livable wages. We know that. We understand that. And if the welfare program was just for black people, it wouldn't exist. There isn't a program that exists just for black people. It doesn't exist. None, no program does. So the fact that black people have become synonymous with welfare is kind of sad, and we allowed it though. I mean, because of our self hate and because of the type of coons we are, we allowed it. We allowed it to exist that way. That's what we did. But I don't look at our people like that. I see this whole system as a whole for what it's done and what capitalism has done to an entire nation, to an entire world. Welfare was created and is maintained by and large by white cave hoes. Is what it is. If it was specifically for black people and particularly black women, the program would not exist. That's just the fact of the matter. If you don't believe me, then you find another government program that's just for black people. You won't find it. This is why, towards the end of Martin Luther King, once he started talking, about leading his people into a burning building, he was talking about reparations. He was talking about reparations. He started talking about capitalism. They didn't want that message to get out here. You see, nobody wants that message to get out here. All they want us to do is shame each other, call each other broke, and never deal with the system and how it is, how it's set up, the ghettos, the schools within the ghettos. They don't want us to talk about any of that at all. Period. Now they'll listen to you talk about coming to hold their motherfucking hands. They'll listen to you do that. But once you start talking about what this government owes black people, the handouts it gave to the caves so the caves could build wealth generationally and otherwise, once you start having conversations like that, the government ain't trying to hear all of that. Like, now let's go ahead and shut this nigga down right now. Because maybe he rubbing his eyes now from that dream, that slumber he was in. He rubbing his eyes now. So let's go ahead and put his ass down. Give him a holiday. They'll never know the difference. That's what happened here in this particular case. We got to understand that. This is why unity amongst black people is so important, in my opinion, anyway. So we can frame these conversations to where they're not in a effort to shame black people, but to make black people understand what's going on, as opposed to us just believing, well, this is it, this is all. And I think that once if we ever get past the point of where we must just continue to be against each other, again, my dream is for us to be together, period. For us to understand the struggle that we're all in together as a team. Just because I can pay my bills and I'm not hungry, my kid's not hungry, somebody's child is hungry. Somebody's child is being woke up, gunshots every night. Growing up in a life that these areas that are basically fucking war zones. To at least have some empathy for that, because I came up poor like that. So I could never look down on people. And particularly looking down on my own people now that I understand how the system works. That's where we are. And to get up off our fucking knees, because that's another dream that you there it's a whole dream that you praying and somebody listening to what the fuck you talking about. That's a dream in itself. Huh? That's a dream. That's a whole dream. There's a reason that the black church is okay. The government didn't seek to break down and destroy the black church. You see. And they're hoping that we stay in this dreamlike state. But I think it's time for us to wake up. It's time for black pride to not be something that is shunned in our communities. Because I do believe if we infused ourselves with black pride, understand how the system is working against us, and infuse ourselves and our children with black pride, I think things would vastly change for us. That's what I believe. When we understand and we raise our children with these ideologies. Jeremy Bruce says, Rob, do you feel we as a people will ever get out of the bullshit cave matrix, or are we doomed? Man, I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm going to try to enlighten black people as much as I can, but I really don't know. I can say that it does look bleak. I can say that it looks bleak for us, because again, um, so-called pro-blackness is shunned amongst our people. That is not a part of our culture. That is not a part of any of the ideologies and the black identity that we pass down to our children. So it does look bleak. It really does. When we look at the ways in which black people seek to enjoy themselves or to enjoy ourselves, it looks really, really bleak. It does. Channels like mine aren't the ones that people are going to be paying the most attention to. I know there's a big movement right now. The monetization of black power is the wave. If you can sell black power and black truth to other black people, you can make you a couple dollars doing that. Um, but it should be something that's a part of our culture. It should replace motherfucking collard greens, if you ask me. not something to be sold to us, something that is just a part of us. Little mama said we are so doomed. I mean, man, I can't say, but I know it does look bleak for us because this is not the message. This is not what's going to be viral. If you look at what we pay attention to, if you look at to how interested we are in celebrities, if you look at to how interested we are in uh, uh, um, gossip and just messiness, it does look a little bit bleak sometimes. I'm telling you that it does look bleak. It does. But I feel as though if I can catch the ear of, even a couple young people, just to make them be interested enough in, you know, their black identity, in having black pride, then, I'm doing my part and trying to, would be pay it forward. That's what I'm trying to do here. And then what we'll see, I think we'll see our community change. We'll see our community change and we'll put our energy towards coming together and building each other up as opposed to tearing each other down. We are really exhausting a lot of energy right now into tearing each other down. And our kids are coming up with this illusion that, you know, America is for them if they just work hard enough. I posted the other day, it was Plies. Some of y'all may follow Plies. I think Plies is a dumb motherfucker. Um, I really do, considering the fact that he's educated and continues to talk dumb just cause, because that's the role he decided to play. But I know the other day he said something about the fact that he's starting to look at the American flag differently. It doesn't look the same to him as it did when he was a child. Um, Now he's coming into the understanding that the American flag is for a certain group of people, and it might as well be a Confederate flag. I saw that. And when I saw that, what I thought about was what he said about how he viewed the flag when he was a child. That's the first thing that stood out to me. He said, well, when I was a child, I looked at it in this way. I looked at it in a wholesome way. Basically, I'm American. It is what it is, right? And we have to understand that black children are not getting a proper education as to what's going on out here. That's why you could be under the illusion that that flag ever represented you in any type of way. You flew that flag, you fought in these wars, and they still treated you like shit. They still told you had to drink from a different fucking water fountain. They still lynched you at numbers that they still won't even deal with. Right now, they won't even pass an anti lynching bill. Right now, there's nobody in prison ever in the history of this country for lynching a black man, woman, or child. None. How did you ever think? How could you ever believe? How was we ever on our feet? Period. How the fuck did Colin Kaepernick look so radical by kneeling for that motherfucking anthem? What are we doing singing it still? You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's what stood out to me is we not even teaching our kids. I'm not gonna let my kids believe that that motherfucking flag represents them. That means that you're protected. You don't get to drape yourself in that flag and get no protection from the Constitution or anything like that. That's not how it is. Now, how we want it to be is completely different than how it is. How we want it to be is this dream that Martin Luther King had. That's how you want it to be. But again, you must be motherfucking dreaming. And thus, we must teach our children the reality. The reality. And we're skipping over that lesson. This is why Plies was led astray. This is why he's coming into that realization. That realization. Mhm. And that's our job as parents. Ryan says, Robert, with that being said, how do you feel about the Falcon becoming Captain America? I feel nothing. I feel absolutely nothing about Marvel, comic books, fantasy. I don't give a fuck nothing about it, bro. Be honest with you. I feel nothing. Don't care nothing about it. I'm more concerned with how our children view uh America. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. And are they being, are they being taught that it's spelled with 3Ks and there's an incorporated right there at the end? The incorporated is silent, right? The 3Ks are invisible, but are you going to teach them to see it? Not to use it as a way to, you know, do the whole woe is me or to even make excuses, but to understand the situation. And thus, when you're talking to another black person about racism, they're not sitting here telling you how that's a thing of the past. You see, they'll tell you it's a thing of the past. There's no way that we just started rebelling against the Pledge of Allegiance and the American flag a couple years ago. Not in my mind, not based on the history. Chanel Madison, you're right. Chanel says Marvel is just pandering to black people. It works, though. Pandering to us works. It's proven to be a successful tool of so-called white supremacy. It's proven to work. Pandering to us works. And I can't sit here and say, well, they're going to stop doing something that works just because we don't like it. Well, no, we have to get to be the type of people to where this type of shit won't work. It works, though. And as long as it's worked, they're going to keep doing it. We have to fix that. And we fix that by teaching our children the truth. And thus, they're not fooled or tricked by the games that America 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated will play and will continue to play. But we get hype. We get hype. We get excited. We feel like we're being represented. We feel like we're getting representation. Oh man, Mike, I remember when Black Panther came out. Black folk lost it. Black folk lost it. Mad love to you, Ghetto, the orator. Mad love to you, man. I'm still out here trying. Black folk ain't paying me no attention. No, won't even share my videos and shit, man. It's fucked up out here for me. But I'm gonna still keep going. I'm gonna still keep going. YouTube still got them sabotaging best they can, and black folk ain't trying to share the type of shit I'm talking about. But I'm gonna keep going regardless. Okay, that I can guarantee you. But black folk lost it, man. Talking about some fucking Wakanda and all this shit. Like, man, come on, man. Come on. All them black folk that was goddamn on that Wakanda shit. And even the celebrities, the entertainers, everybody was on that shit. It's like, y'all motherfuckers come together and build your own fucking Wakanda. Come together and build your own from the ground up. Nope. Motherfuckers just wanted to cross their arms across their damn chest, put on African garb. And it's like, man, that's symbolism, but they see that it works. You see what I'm saying? They see that it works. The same reason they just put Maya Angelou on that quarter. They see that that works. So that being that it works, being that that is acceptable, an acceptable form of reparations to us, because we have to be careful too as to how they're giving us so-called reparations. They're giving it to us by putting, black folk on, quarters. They're giving it to us by acting like they accept black people with movies like Black Panther, and they're giving you reparations like that. So every time you cheer for that, to them, that's them giving you reparations. Then once you stop clapping for that fucking bullshit and tell them, nah, that ain't it. That's not it. I didn't ask you for no motherfucking Black Panther movie. Didn't ask you for Black Panther 2. Don't give a damn about none of it. Now, well, I'm not gonna sit here and say the Marvel movies aren't good movies and shit like that or whatever. Watch the movies. I'm not telling you to boycott the fucking movies, but sit down, though. Do not translate that as to anything that has anything to do with reality. Once you leave that fucking movie theater, you could be on your way home. Blue lights get behind your ass. Don't even look at them giving some of these fucking cops 3Ks. Don't get that shit fucked up. Giving them some time. Don't stand down. Motherfucker be talking about finally justice. The fact that you could be subjugated and oppressed through this system this long, and one cave officer goes to prison for full-blown murder, that's not justice. That's not restorative justice. That's not even. I'm not clapping. I ain't got shit to say. He did. Lil, it's up. T.I. did say that shit, but T.I. is a fucking coon. T.I. is a coon. But black people like T.I., so whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but T.I. is a full blown coon. But he did say that Atlanta was Wakanda. And some black people feel like Atlanta is owned by black people. You hear that's the black Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear people saying shit like that, even though the entire city of Atlanta is owned and ran by the caves. It's like what the fuck? It's interesting. It is beautiful city. I'm not knocking the city of Atlanta. A lot of black folk there. Not knocking the black population there. But owned, no. Ran, no. That's still owned and ran by the caves. You see what I'm saying? So as long as we keep again clapping for shit like this, as long as we keep celebrating it with them, then they feel like they are giving us reparations. Look, black people, we locked him up. That's what y'all wanted, right? Y'all happy now, right? And we'll be like, yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. Finally, you fair and even now. Like, no. One, two cops? No, 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 that ain't it. And but we keep doing it. We keep doing it. When we should be fucking looking at that shit, just glancing at that shit and keep moving. Like, no, that's still we still moving for justice. We still know the system is fucked up. And for every one cop you lock up for full blown murder, you'll lock up 1,000 black men for nonviolent drug offenses. That's not justice. We keep calling it justice. I'm glad justice was given to his family. No, because we keep individualizing ourselves. And that's why we keep looking at these things as justice. That's individualizing. His family got justice. That's individualizing. Her family got justice. That's individualizing. Black people as a whole are not receiving any type of fucking justice. Period. Period. Ghetto the orator, you're absolutely right. What they just did with Ahmaud Arbery's murderers, gave them life. Black people was hype about that. Like I ain't hype about none of this shit. I ain't hype about any of it. So, you know, I can acknowledge it as a thing, as an event in historical context, but I'm not excited about it because I know what they're still doing. They're locking up black men still and women in large number for nonviolent marijuana offenses. They still doing that. Is there a week that goes by that a black man that done did 1,000 years already, they trying to free him? DNA done said he was innocent. There needs to be an overhaul of the entire system before justice can even begin, let alone be calling something justice. So, we as a people have to be better about accepting this fuckery. Ain't no justice. No justice at all. Right. I wish I could pronounce your name. Sabomi. Sabomi. I could be fucking it up, and if I am, I do apologize. Says they want us to clap for what they're supposed to be doing. Exactly. And I refuse. But you know how black folk is. Oh man, you ain't never black folk ain't never happy with nothing. You always still mad. Like what the fuck? I know that there's 1,000 to 2,000. I would even say up to 3,000 black men in prison for every goddamn one so-called cop. I would even say it might even be like 10,000. For every one so-called cop, some black man got a fucking felony record over some marijuana. Like that ain't no damn justice. That's not justice. Straddled with that felony. Already had a hard enough time finding a damn job. Straddled with that felony. Motherfuckers ain't hiring you. That ain't justice. Ryan asks Robert, do you think it's okay for blacks to call the police on gang members or people who destroy the community? Yeah, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that. If you need the police, I think black folks should just arm their motherfucking self. But if you do need the police, I don't see anything. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But just be mindful that you black when you call. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like some of the practices that we engage in, it's not about the practice itself. It's about the illusion that we're under when we call the cops. 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up. It's that illusion. There are times that black people will call the cops and the cops will come out there and shoot or arrest the black person that called. So it's like, understanding the situation that we're in. It's about the understanding. Hey, mad love to you, Liberated. Mad love to you. Says, hey, Rob, I know this is off topic, but I just rewatched your interview with that Jesse dude, Jesse Coon. And I had to tell you that you handled yourself well and did justice with your responses. Salute. Mad love to you for even watching it. Mad love to you. That was a while back. Somebody asked me, do I want to do another interview with Jesse and all this shit? Like, talking to Coons, man, it's just like, Jesse Lee Peterson is one of them old coons that's got a platform, and the caves are behind him. And the caves love when black folk deny racism. This is why Candace Owens has a platform. All these black Republicans, they have a platform because of that. Because white folk love that we will allow this system to be as corrupt as it is. Like I said, I'll give for every one, corrupt cop they may arrest, there's thousands of black men and women being railroaded by the system over nonviolent drug offenses. They love for you to ignore that. If you say anything about this system railroading black people, they'll say you just using it as an excuse. Black folk need to quit breaking the law, blah, 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 blah. They like when black people sound like them. They like when black people deny racism just like they do. They love that shit. They love it. So your ABLs, your Officer Tatum's, your Candace Owens, and all these motherfuckers. Joy Reid, I think that motherfucker be cooning at a all-time high level. Pushing these different propaganda machines. As we see that the Supreme Court, just got on to Biden and them about trying to force these mandates with these shots. It's just They love to have black people pushing the same fuckery that they've been pushing, draped in an American flag. That's why I don't really fuck with, I know black people are using it as a symbolic thing where they will have the American flag, in their bios and shit. It just looks so crazy to me. Like, when? Like that wait till that flag represents you, then put it in your bio. Don't try to force yourself on it. Make it prove itself to you. But we don't do that though. We don't do that. We don't do any of that. We just be American flagging it up, and we feel like that's some brave act. Like all them flags in black folk bios still ain't getting black folk no justice. Flags don't mean a goddamn thing. That's why I don't fuck with that shit. I don't. That sound like something the ABL will do. Base proletariat say Anthony Brown Logan is pushing the lie that George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose. Of course he is. That's what he's supposed to do. He has those cave supporters, so that he's doing what he's supposed to do. And YouTube is not going to flag that as misinformation. You notice that? You say anything you want about black folk, they're not going to flag it as misinformation. But if I say this shot came out of nowhere, they ain't even had time to test the long-term effects of it, that'll be flagged as misinformation. Isn't that interesting? If you get some time, just think about that. You can say anything you want about black folk. This is not misinformation. None of it. You ain't gonna get flagged for it or nothing. And black folk ain't even paying attention to that, which I know black folk don't care. They're trying to secure this bag. Because there is a cash stipend for coons. They do have an allowance they can receive if you coon just hard enough. You can get a cash allowance. A cash allowance. They know damn well George Floyd died from asphyxiation. They know that. That's, I mean, this is why the cave ass cop went to go do him some time. Didn't have nothing to do with no damn fentanyl, but his video will not be flagged for misinformation. See? Isn't that interesting? Won't be flagged for any type of misinformation. Black folk can get on here and say anything about each other, about ourselves. But see, that's part of the cave's dream. You see what I'm saying? They want us to exist in that way, in that fashion. They want us to exist like that. You can do anything. You can present yourself however you want to. But you will not be flagged unless you talking about a so-called would-be conspiracy theory is what they will try to call it. But it's a lot of facts going on that they're calling misinformation. And they heavy on that shit now, especially when you talking about the damn shots. They heavy on that shit. But you can say, you can get on here, and this is no disrespect, but I'm just using this as an example. You can get on here and say Breonna Taylor shot herself in the head while she was asleep. You can say that. That won't be misinformation because you're talking about black folk. You see. But that's not something that we pay attention to. Like, that's not something we pay attention to. Jeremy Bruce says, yeah, I was in the military, even went to Afghanistan, and that flag still doesn't mean shit to me because my people don't mean shit to them. Real shit. You're one of the few soldiers or the few veterans or people that have fought in some of these wars that America wages against poor countries to steal resources that will be real. And I respect that. I respect that. A lot of these patriots, man, they feel like you disrespecting the flag. And it's like, motherfucker, how much disrespect has that flag brought to your life? That flag don't mean anything. But we have to be mindful of this stuff. And this is why I feel like it's so important that we teach our kids, our children, the truth about that flag, about what it means. And you're black. So no matter where you are on this earth, because we're so scatterbrained and ununified, no flag means much, period, at all. There is no protection under no flag, period. It just is what it is. I don't give a damn if it's American flag, you Jamaican flag, and people got Jamaican flags all up in their bios, and that shit don't do nothing. Doesn't do a goddamn thing. No flag represents us that way because we're not unified. So it ain't gonna matter. We not mad. So it's not going to matter. We need to be upset. But that's not where we are. We be believing that these flags mean anything. Even with the RBG flag that you may see, me either post the colors or something like that. That flag, no flag means nothing because black people are so fucking scatterbrained and not unified. Nothing means anything. Nothing. Looks nice, whatever, wear your colors, whatever. It doesn't mean any goddamn thing. And I know that we got this movement now where I know I posted, it was a congresswoman or a deputy mayor or some shit up in Virginia. She said some shit about moving past racism. And some of the comments I saw was, well, oh, she ain't FBA anyway. I'm like, what in the fuck, man? This is where we are. You she ain't FBA, she ain't ADOS, so she shouldn't be talking, or no one cares about what she's saying. She is a deputy mayor. I don't know what this ADOS and FBA shit mean to y'all. I can't wrap my finger around it, or wrap my head around it rather, as to what does that shit mean. FBA. I know what it stands for. I understand what you're trying to say, but acting like FBA don't coon, I don't get it. Acting like there ain't no ADOS coons, acting like, only foreign black people deny racism. I wish that shit was real. I wish it was only foreign, not from this land, non-ADOS, non-FBA. I wish they was the only coons. That'd be a part of my dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, really, I wish nobody was a fucking coon, but that ain't real. That's not real. I'm telling you, black people operate at a level of arrogance sometimes. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Chanel Madison says she is a Jamaican mammy. I knew she was Jamaican. I just don't break down, like, I don't do that. A coon is a coon, a Jamaican, a African, an American. I don't care. They're still coons. And to act like it's specifically one group of foreign or immigrant black people that would be coons is just it's mind blowing to me. It blows my mind. I know it gives black Americans something to brag about. Well, we don't coon. None of us coon. It's just them. I know it gives black Americans something to, puff their chest up about, but I know it's a fucking lie. I know it's a lie. I don't divide us up like that. That's something that black people are interested in doing, but I don't divide us up like that. A coon is a coon. Ryan says, Rob, what do you think of that brother in Waukesha, Wisconsin, who ran over all the white people? He killed 4 elderly and said he was even going to hit up the elderly if he had to, which is what he did. I mean, that's the route he wanted to take. I can't say that that's something that I would be like, hell yeah, he ran over some old white folk. Like, no, that's not because now I'm sure his ass is going to prison. So that's not something that is that I would say that I celebrate. I don't mourn the old caves that he ran over. I don't mourn them, but I also don't celebrate him doing something that's going to land his ass in prison. I don't see the I mean, I don't know his life. I don't know if he had children that could be, reliant on him. Um, but I know that don't do shit. That don't settle the fucking score or nothing like that. I appreciate you, Deshaun Williams. Mad love to you. Mad love to you. Liberated Soul Rebel, can someone lace me up on what FBA means? It's an acronym for Foundational Black American. Um, I think it's something that Brother Tariq came up with to differentiate himself from the immigrant class of Black people. The foundational Black Americans supposed to be the Black people who built this country, the Black people who would be owed reparations, not the immigrant class that are coming over here on the backs of what the foundational Black Americans built. Our fight, our struggle, um, the people who come over here that are just riding on the coattails, there's a way to differentiate. Almost like you will see a Jamaican that will say, I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican, or a Haitian that will say, I'm not Black, I'm Haitian, African, I'm not Black, I'm African. Now you got, well, I'm not Black, I'm FBA. It's the same logic. It's just an identifier to acknowledge where you originate from, where your ancestors, what your ancestry DNA lies in. That's all it is. I mean, I don't know how far that's gonna get Black people, but we'll see. I don't imagine it's gonna get us too far, but you know, it just is what it is. I don't think that's gonna help us get any type of restorative justice at all. But it is a way. It's just an identifier, and they what they do is they'll just shine up on their American heritage. That's what they're doing. Fly the American flag and shit. LEK says when it comes to reparations and how the money is doled out, it does matter where you're from. And with that, I agree. But reparations where? You know what I'm saying? I think it would matter once you get reparations. Beforehand, it's just, I mean, a way, like I say, it's just a way for Black people to, I guess, differentiate themselves. But if reparations ain't on the table, what does it matter? It's not on the table. It's a conversation, but it's not on the table. So as of now, I think Black people should focus on unifying. That's what I think our focus should be on. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm B123. I don't have a FBA or ADOS. I'm B123 over here. So until they're like, yeah, we about to cut this check, and we got to figure out y'all's lineage. I'm sure they'll send out, have a way to trace your DNA back and all this shit like that. But I mean, it's not even something that them motherfuckers. Was it last year they passed a bill to study reparations, HR 40, but they ain't did shit with that. They ain't did shit with that. Now, I would not argue against the fact that Black Americans, people whose lineage are here in America, we have a different type of history because of what we understand about America. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. And thus, a Haitian may not fully understand, a Jamaican may not fully understand, an African may not fully understand. We do have a unique type of lineage here in this country. I agree with all of that. But I just don't see what the point of it all is if it's about, we getting what we owed as far as reparations is concerned. But there is no conversation about or no reparations being handed out. So it's like, okay, y'all different, we different. Um, our ancestors, the things that they've done to fault for what a lot of these benefits that these immigrants do get. Now, I will call out these fucking Jamaicans, these Americans, some of these goddamn Haitian coons that who start beating their motherfucking chest and talking a whole lot of shit. Now, I'll check them just like I would check any other coon. I don't, I check coons. Period. To me, it don't matter where the fuck you from. It doesn't matter where you from. I'm gonna check your coon shit. I don't give a damn if you from down the street, round the corner, across the ocean. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna check the bullshit you on if you on some bullshit. I think the idea that only immigrants coon is the problem that I be having a lot of times when I hear this conversation. It's like, well, what that mayor or the vice, whatever the fuck the bitch was, what she said don't matter, or what she said is almost irrelevant because she's from Jamaica. Only a Jamaican would talk like that. And it's like, no. What is Jesse Lee Peterson? We were just talking about him earlier. What is he? So it's like y'all acting like the only coons come from overseas is not real shit. Not real shit at all. Coon shit is being passed down through black households. Notice I didn't say Jamaican households, Haitian households, African households, American households. Black households pass down coon shit. It doesn't matter what level the coon shit is on. I know black folk do that. Period. Don't matter where they from, no matter what flag they flying, they passing down a whole lot of coon shit. A whole lot of coon shit is being passed down to our children, no matter where the fuck we came from. And how do you explain a global coon epidemic? And motherfuckers want to act like it's just, well, they from there, they from that region, so that's why they coons. Like, no, it is no, 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 no. This is a global epidemic. You can observe coon shit and white worship and seeking white acceptance all over the globe, wherever black people are. Cowards across the whole globe. So I don't have time to really divide nobody up when I'm trying to, get black people to stop cooning. I don't got time. You see what I'm saying? I want us to all stand together and get our mentalities right. The liberation of the black mind. I don't give a damn if you from Jamaica or not. I don't give a damn if you from Africa or not. I don't give a damn if you from here. I don't give a damn if you from Georgia, Texas. I don't care where you from. The liberation of the black mind. That's to me the most important, one of the most important steps, if not the most important step, in to me in black people progressing in this society. That's what I believe all over the globe. And I think if we get ourselves together and focus on that, I think it'll trickle around the entire fucking globe. I think it'll catch around the entire globe. And I know some of y'all probably get tired of me using the Black Panthers as an example, but if you look at the Black Panthers, they had chapters in Africa, they had chapters in South America. So uh, even though they were such a small group of black people here, what black people do here, it can be felt a lot of times around the entire planet. We set the pace a lot of time for what goes on with other black people in other nations. We set that pace. So I feel like when we, get ourselves focused and stop focusing on, fuckery and stop dreaming that white folk gonna accept us, I think we'll be, the most powerful people on the planet. I do believe we have that potential. We're just not living that potential. We're not living that potential. So it is what it is. I think that should be our first focus. Now, again, I wish there was some way where only immigrants were coons, only black immigrants were coons, but that's just not the case. There have been even some African brothers and sisters. I think today, as well as it being Martin Luther King's birthday, it also marks the day that Patrice Lumumba was assassinated over in Africa. One of the most powerful African revolutionaries Africa ever seen, assassinated. Those governments, which they were backed by the caves, of course, always are backed by the caves, but those were other black folk that helped, had a hand in him being assassinated. Patrice Lumumba. If you don't know anything about him, do some research. Patrice Lumumba. I got some T-shirts with Brother Patrice Lumumba on my site. But one of the greatest African leaders ever assassinated him. Assassinated him. So this is happening no matter where black people are, no matter whether or not you have black people in these positions in these governments. That stuff doesn't matter because we don't have a fucking code. What the fuck you mean assassinate one of my own? Help you? What the fuck you help you infiltrate? What the fuck are you even talking about? We don't do that here, motherfucker. We don't do that shit here. But we're not codified in that way. We're not codified in that way. The things that we're taught that black folk just don't do, we just, that's not one of them. We don't sell out our people. Because if you want to kill him, that means that you see the unifying power. Because they what they do, and particularly we talk about black leaders and them dismantling the Black Panthers. If the organization or the person in particular has a unifying power, they get knocked off. And we don't think about that shit, but we should. There's something about the threat of us unifying. I mean, Jager, bitch ass, cave ass Jager Hoover said it himself. Negro unity, the biggest threat to America. 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up. Negro unity. The government decided that. And we still out here playing. Gina Turner says, Rob, do you explain your pro-black views to your immediate family? If they disagree with your lifestyle, or do you just let them live in their own world? Of course I explain it. I explain it because, I mean, anybody that's in my, particularly my immediate family, I live this life. So, they're watching me talk the way I talk, exist the way I exist. I don't just come on here and do this for y'all on YouTube. This is how I exist, period. And what I've noticed is here lately, I've had a couple family members come to me and say, man, I didn't know. I thought you was on some bullshit. Now I understand everything you've been saying over these years. So I'm not going to stop rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to stop being who I am. I don't give a fuck who it is. This is who I am. And it's not like it's, no light work, or like I say, it's not something I just come on here and do with y'all for a couple hours a week sometime. Like, no, this is my real life. And I'm repping that shit everywhere. And some people may want an explanation. Well, why you say that? I didn't know that. You'd be surprised how many of our people don't know stuff. Sometimes I'll be flying my RBG flag. It be motherfuckers like, man, what part of Africa you from? I say, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know exactly what part of Africa I'm from, but this is not an African flag. This is Marcus Garvey. It's RBG flag. A lot of black people don't even know that. So when you even, talking about this history and you representing, you end up educating people, even if they don't want the education, even if they don't want it. Because somebody in front of me could say something that doesn't make any sense to me, or either some old coon shit or some bullshit. I'm going to correct them, and they may get mad, but I'm going to correct the fuckery in front of me. And the people that are in my immediate family are used to me being like that by now, and they're coming around because now they starting to see. Okay, I see what the fuck. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're not on no bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a matter as to, well, I'm gonna let them be how they are. I'm not gonna stop nobody from being however they want to be. But if you're gonna be around me, you're not gonna get to say no coon shit around me. And if I'm speaking and you listen to what I'm saying and you take the time to go do the research, you'll see it's there. You see what I'm saying? You'll see it's there. I'm not just making shit up. I'm not quoting scriptures out of the fucking Bible. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't hide anything from anyone because this is who I am. I can't hide myself. It's impossible. It's impossible. I understand it is a hard road though. This is not me making light of the path you may have to be on, but it's not. It just is something for me. It's a part of who I am, and thus I'm not going to sacrifice it. To me, the way I look at it is, I got kids watching me. You know what I'm saying? And what memory? You know how people are. Like, everybody's going to describe their parents. Everybody is. At some point in your life, you describing how your mama is, how your daddy was, even when you were a kid. And if something, happens to them, you're going to talk about how they was. There's a certain way that I want to be talked about. You see what I'm saying? This ain't for YouTube likes and views. There's a certain way that I want people to remember me and remember the kind of person that I was if anything happens to me. And I know my kids are watching. You see what I'm saying? Anybody who may have been watching me for years, people are watching. And I'm trying to show black people that you can have black pride and still be successful in this life without cowering to uh, cave intimidation or coon intimidation. You don't gotta be like them. Because I know sometimes something in your spirit, it don't feel right to you anyway. You wonder, what the fuck am I doing? It's okay. This is not a popularity contest. There's a certain way I want to be remembered by anybody who's ever heard anything I had to say, and by the people who directly experienced me in this life. So that's what I care about. So then my kids talking about me at some point, whether I'm dead and gone. Well, my daddy wasn't no motherfucking coon. I know that. That's important to me. I can't say that's important to everybody, but that's important to me. A lot of people don't know. Ryan says, Robert, no one in my family directly or extended knew who Francis Cress Wilson was. Man, our orators, our teachers, man, black folk don't be knowing who they are. I had a motherfucker ask me the other day, who was Nat Turner. We don't be knowing a lot of information. We don't know it because we weren't taught it. We weren't taught it ourselves. Because again, who we learn about? Jesus Christ, Moses, and them. Know what them imaginary motherfuckers did. Don't know who Francis Quest Wilson is. Know who Adam and Eve is. Don't know who Dr. Amos Wilson is. I ain't never even heard of him. You see what I'm saying? That's our fault. We can fix that. Know who fucking Noah is and what he did with his little fly ass boat, but don't know, what I'm saying, who John Henry Clark is. So it's up to us to even, make our people curious enough to even try to see who these people are. Listen to the things that they had to say. Deshaun Williams says the education system is trash. That's why our people don't know history. I would give you that argument and take you and give you another argument that black parents are trash. And that's why we don't know our history. Black parents are trash. So, to rely completely on the education system to so-called educate your child is a flaw. That's a flaw in every way possible. It could be a flaw. Some people believe they got to homeschool their kids to give them, that identity, or give them that truth. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to homeschool your kids to do that. You just need to be there to let know what the fuck is going on out here. Let them hear certain speeches. Because you remember how you was coming up, you see your mama watching the stories on TV. You know what I'm saying? You would be ingratiated in whatever mom and dad were watching, whether dad would watch football every Sunday. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all fathers were like that. Your dad, you knew daddy was watching football every Sunday. That became something that you tell people about your dad. Like, man, my dad got me to watch football. He used to watch it every Sunday. Put on his jersey and everything. It was a tradition in our house. Well, then why isn't listening to black educators? When is that going to become a tradition in your house? When you gonna sit your kids down in front of that? Let them listen to that. When is that gonna be something that's a tradition in your household? The stories was, I remember that's back in the day, and some of y'all remember the stories. You remember the stories was something that a lot of our moms watched when we were younger and stuff like that. And a lot of our fathers watched sports and shit like that. We program our kids that way. So what's wrong with we the fact that we act like we can't educate our children is very problematic for me. Because you can just make them interested enough, even if they don't want to. Because hell, I mean, you got one TV in the house, at least back in the day. Now people got TVs in every goddamn room. But if mom was watching the story, y'all was watching the stories. that's what, that's just what it was. Like if daddy was watching the game, y'all was watching the game. It is what it is. That's how you got your introduction to watching sports. You didn't come out of the fucking womb just, yeah, MJ. Like you didn't come out like that. That was something that was programmed into you at the hands of your parents. We just have the tendency to believe that we can't put nothing else in there. Even if you're going to, you know, give your kids sports and things like that. Or, I remember even listening to my mama play gospel music when she was cleaning up. She played some R&B music when she was cleaning up. So those songs are the songs that I remember from my childhood. My dad had his, old school R&B music, the Motown sound. So your kids are gonna be listening if they're gonna be around you. Hell, you could be listening to a speech from Malcolm X, listen to a speech from brother uh uh Dr. John Henry Clark, brother Dr. Amos Wilson. You could be listening to these things, and they, even if they aren't listening to it, they're gonna hear it. And they're gonna be curious. And then if you represent that truth wherever you go, like I do, my kids may sometimes be like, well, Dad, why you say that to them like that? Why you say that? And I may have to break it down to them even further so a child can better understand it. Because they may not be able to understand it fully, but they'll know that's what my daddy talk like, no matter who's around, even in front of white folk. Because again, they can see that example in you too. They're watching you and how you act around white folk. They can see you changing your fucking voice. They see you doing that. They see you getting all proper and correcting yourself for these motherfuckers. They see you doing that. They see you being bashful, lying, being fake. They see all that shit. And they begin to understand, well, my dad, my mom, they shape up when them motherfuckers around. They act a different way. My kids don't, no, I don't act a different way. I tell the truth no matter where I'm at, no matter who the fuck's watching. I represent my people in my attire, no matter where I'm at, no matter who's watching. You see what I'm saying? Our kids need to see that. And I think that would imprint that in their minds, make them curious, and you educate them on what's going on, whether they're in public schools or not. That's what I believe in. Ellie Case, Ellie Case said, "Imagine the life of a 10-year-old who knows they have no friends out here." So I'm teaching mine, so that way they're not shocked. You know what I'm saying? Again, this ain't about teaching your kids to go out here and, you know what I'm saying, just cuss out every cave they see, spit on the motherfuckers and nothing like that. It's about them not being set up for failure or thinking they have a friend when they really don't. And that goes for with mine. I'm teaching them that about coons, which sadly enough makes up most black people, and the caves. If a black person talking like this is what this means. So they understand that. Well, my daddy warned me about you. That ain't just for the caves, that's for the coons too. Because coon kids is out here running around, running amok. They being raised like that. It ain't their fault. And I always tell my kids, it ain't their fault. They're not getting the education. They're not getting what you getting. They don't have that example to look to like you do. And maybe they'll get it one day. But that's what I'm teaching mine. Mad love to you, Jeremy Bruce. Mad love, brother. And I hope you continue to come fuck with me. But that's the thing. Like, I'm like this for real. It's not a game for y'all. This is not something I do to be popular, because this ain't no popular shit. I'd be more popular if I came on here and cooned. Really. Um if I came on here and cooned it up, I'd be much more popular. This ain't about that. This ain't about that. And showing people that you could be like this, you can still laugh, you can still enjoy things. I want because a lot of times people make it seem like you can't. And anybody who hangs out with me in real life, or come across me in real life, know that that's not true. We're gonna get to these facts, and you're not gonna be on no coon shit around me. But we can laugh and enjoy yourself. I want my kids to see that too. You can be about this knowledge and stand up in your black pride. Stand in your black pride and still enjoy yourself, still laugh, and still have a good time as well. I don't think we believe we can. A lot of times, it's like you got to be ignorant to have fun, and that's just dumb to me. I can still play spades. Well, I ain't play spades. Let me not talk no whole lot of shit. Uh, I remember I think how to play spades. I wasn't a reneging ass nigga. I know that. Okay. I can still hang out, everybody, people around maybe, drinking a little bit or something like that. I can still play spades with the best of them. I make a good spades partner. You know what I'm saying? Good spades partner. Ro, I've actually started doing that. I've actually started doing that. I've actually started doing that. Rose says, Rob, would you be interested in showing us the speeches, documentary, and or books that are instrumental to learn Black history? I actually, it was 2 weeks ago. I played a speech from Dr. Joy DeGruy, and I told my audience that I would be playing more speeches from Black people that I get some information from, that I listen to. So it's out here. A couple channels that do have these speeches on there. Um, but I am going to. We sit and we watched it together, and we broke the things down that she was talking about. But that's something that I will be doing here, just so people will know where to go. Dr. Joy DeGruy is a good place to start. She really breaks down the history and breaks down institutional racism and otherwise in layman's terms, if you will. She's not one of those over extra, you know what I'm saying? Not that you can't be intelligent that way. I like to think of myself as the type of Black person that puts things in layman's terms for Black people. I'm not trying to use every big word in the thesaurus to talk to Black people, to try to prove that I'm just so much more intellectual than Black people. No, I want Black people to understand. So I try to speak as plainly as possible to Black people. I speak as plainly as I can, because you never know when a kid is listening. And I want to speak plainly so they can understand, speak in plain terms so they can go do the research. And then look out here in the world and see that what I'm saying is motherfucking facts. I speak the language of the people. I ain't trying to be above the people. Some people know I use profanity and things like this. But that's how I talk. that's how I gets it in, you know. But I think that's important. I think speaking plainly is very important. We've had say what? MLK knew how to blow the D. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck? I guess I should know by your screen name. What does that mean? MLK knew how to blow the D. What does that mean? Are you saying he was some type of homosexual, or which I'm fine. I mean, it is what it is, you know. If he was, that has nothing to do with anything I would have said about him. James Baldwin was a homosexual, but he still said some powerful things. Actually, he was a homosexual that was laying in the caves. He still has several, you know, powerful speeches and conversations that he had. One in particular that I seen people posting the other day was James Baldwin talking to Nikki Giovanni. I know James Baldwin. I'm not about to say and talk about him blowing no D and I don't know shit like that, but I know he was a homosexual. But he didn't put his sexuality um, over what he understood about institutional racism and the system that is America. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. O&L fam says King was an agent. Watch industry hoax, fam. I don't need to watch industry hoax. I'm not on here uh you know speaking to I guess I understand when people say MLK was an agent because he was backed by rich white dollars, almost like the BLM campaign is, but they didn't murder him because he was an agent. So that becomes a point I understand. But it's not, that didn't kill him because he was an agent. They would have kept him alive if he'd have stayed in his agenting. If he'd have kept being an agent, he wouldn't have had to worry about. He would be your Jesse Jackson right now. He would be your Al Sharpton right now. So, or your Louis Farrakhan right now. So therefore, him being an agent is an understandable argument. It's an understandable conversation, but they didn't kill him for that. He'd be alive if he'd have stayed in pocket, if that makes sense. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes we just gotta be fair, man. We gotta be realistic. Like, I'm not a supporter of MLK's dream. I'm not a supporter of what he felt like would be the best step forward for Black people in America. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. Um, but in those times, whether he's an agent or not, like I'm not gonna speak to that. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that. Be honest with you. Mike Lawrence says he was no agent. He was just naive and misguided. I can't speak. I didn't know him good enough to even speak to his character that way. I mean, I never hung out with him. I don't know what he had going on, but I know it's irrelevant. He wasn't assassinated because he was an agent. That wouldn't be why he was assassinated. Ryan Jordan says, Robert, what do you think about Fresh and Fit? They coons. Okay, y'all, they just coons. Nothing to see here. I feel like that about a lot of these situations. I actually was going to break down the new Black Panther Party leader spoke to their love for the caves, and explained their ideology as to their love for the caves. I saw a video on him. I put it up on my Instagram, and I was going to play it and talk about that. But they just coons, man. They just cave dwelling coons. It's not even a rarity in this reality. So it wasn't nothing that blew me away. I think it's odd when I'm sitting here trying to tell Black people that 99% of Black people are coons, and then they're shocked every time they hear some coon shit. Now, of course, I saw that those guys are not fully Black. They're not Black people. So you get the whole they're not FBA, so this is why they talk like that mentality. But again, I know full blown so-called FBA people who still put cave holes on a pedestal. So It just is what it is. They coons. And now it's up to black people to see what these guys believe in and either keep supporting them or not. I mean, to me, it's really that simple. To me, it's really that simple. Their audience should consist of cave loving, coon ass niggas and the caves. That's the only people that should be over there. That's the only people um, that should be over there. We've had. Are you are you trolling? Like, what are you saying? What is the purpose of you keep saying caves? Malcolm X was mixed with cave DNA. So you consider people that are products of people who had parents that are products of rape. You hold that against them, or I don't understand. And no, I haven't. Jeremy Hill, where did you send the video about MLK? I don't. Let me know where you sent that. I'm not saying she's not right, Ryan. That's not. I'm not saying she's not right. I'm trying to understand the purpose of what's being said. If somebody's mom is a product of rape, how do you black people, man? Like, well, I don't know if weave head is a real. I don't know if weave head is a real. Whatever. Everybody understands who Malcolm X and what Malcolm X dedicated his life to, regardless. They understand that. I don't know how you could hold it against him that his mom was a product of rape. That's a weird flex. I can see if Malcolm X was laying in the caves, then fair. I'll give you a fair argument. But there's no record of that, to my knowledge. But there's a lot of black people um, who had parents or grandparents that were the product of rape. We understand that the white man is the biggest rapist on the planet. And as disgusting as he said black people were, he could not rape the slaves. So I don't know what to say about that. But I mean, it is what it is. I think We've had might be trolling. I have no idea. Yeah, but I didn't say any. I understand that what We've had is saying, but I, I don't understand why it's being said. That's all. I guess I'm confused about that. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not knocking what's being said. I just don't. I don't understand the purpose. I mentioned Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson. You know, and this lady was like, she's like, find your own leaders. Like I'm my own leader. If you, um, yeah, I'm my own leader. So I'm not. I got me, and I'm leading mine. But it is what it is. I have not seen that movie, Jasmine Thug Life. Says, have you seen the movie Don't Look Up? It's actually what's going on today. People turning a blind eye to real issues. I have not seen that movie. I did see the people were talking about it. Ryan Jordan, I think me should separate Robert. When I said I'm not with the pro black stuff, that's all I meant. Brother, I you don't have to explain yourself to me, brother. You be whoever you want to be. You be however you want to be. I'm not judging you at all. Y'all do y'all's thing, man. I represent for myself and the people who understand where I'm coming from. That's all. That's really all I'm doing here. If you're not with the pro black stuff, that's cool. That's your choice. But the minute you start being on some coon shit, I'm gonna call you a coon. So that's just, that's regardless. Weavehead says, I'm just saying mixed people should not be helping blacks. Okay. All right. Whatever y'all say. Whatever y'all say. Jeremy Hill, you said you resent it? Okay. Now, I've probably seen every MLK video that in existence. I've probably seen them all already. Um, but you send it to me, I'll check out and see what you got going on. Y'all got to understand. I mean, I've been on this path for a decade now. So, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've taken in a lot of information. Um, you know, it is what it is. Okay, Ron, that's fair. He says, I can't call you a coon. You're not one. I could just call you anti black then. Is that better? An anti black half coon. And I don't call people coons to insult them. I don't do that. I call people coons so they can acknowledge that they're cooning and for them to stop. So, um, I don't call people coons as an insult. It's to show people what a coon is, how a coon speaks, how a coon thinks, and thus, if you are exhibiting any of these characteristics, then you need to stop cooning. That's all. It's not an insult. That's not how I'm using it, and I don't want people to get that confused. Somebody can be on some coon shit, and they don't know. Maybe they don't know it's some coon shit, and it's you got to show them. You got to tell them they on some coon shit. Now they choose to keep cooning after you done told them they on some coon shit, then that's on them. But I don't call people a coon to insult them. I'm trying to help them. It's like you saying that if you call somebody a crackhead, you call them a crackhead to insult them. Now you could be calling them a crackhead sometime to insult them, but you're hoping at some point they'll put the crack down. Like, sir, you need to come to the terms that you are indeed a crackhead, alcoholic, or whatever problems you may have. You got to come to that realization first before you can rectify what it is. Same thing as this illusion with these people that be fat as hell and don't want to deal with the fact that they fat. So if you can't acknowledge what you are, you can't fix it. You can't work to correct it. So I don't call people coon as an insult. I wish they wasn't cooning. You know what I'm saying? But it just is what it is. Yeah, pyro people. Sometimes people just show up, man. They're not really, you know. It's they don't know, and all I can do is try to lead by example, man. I can let people. I'm to me, calling somebody a coon. I can say that ain't nobody above being called a coon because I done called myself a coon. I done said I was on some coon shit. I done talked about me being a coon. So ain't nobody gonna be above me. That's how I feel. Like if I can say it about myself, then I'm not doing it to insult people. I had to realize I was on some coon shit to stop cooning. That's the point. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You can't be 600 pounds talking about I'm thick. Like, you're gonna be 650 by next year. So you have to acknowledge where you are in order to fix any problem that you may have. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to do that shit. They don't got no coons anonymous groups for, they ain't got no, prayer serenity for coons or nothing like that. So it's one of those things that you just have to acknowledge without really having a support group per se. Um, But it's my job into coaching people into not being coons. That's what I feel like I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to coach you into not being coons. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't trying to turn this into no jokey shit, but that's what I feel like black people struggle. Like, how many people do you know realistically will call themselves a coon? Like, man, yeah, I was on some coon shit. I had never heard nothing like that in my life. Man, yeah, I was on some coon shit, man. Yeah, I'm cooning right now. I'm gonna stop cooning. You know what I'm saying? Even when these motherfuckers come out here and be on some coon shit and be apologizing, they'll be like, "Me, yeah, I was on some coon ass shit. I apologize. I'm fixing my mentality. I was raised on some coon shit. You know, what can I do?" But you'll never hear no motherfuckers will admit to being, I'm toxic. The motherfuckers will call themselves toxic, full blown. I got toxic traits. They'll say shit like that. Will never admit to being a coon. I'm like, what? Why can't y'all just cool accountability? I fucks with it. You know what I mean? I see you shining over there, glowing in your accountability. You know, motherfuckers be talking about they glowing in their masculinity or femininity. Well, I like for motherfuckers to glow in accountability. So why can you call yourself toxic, but you can't deal with the fact that you on some coon shit? Won't nobody do it. I imagine it's probably one of the hardest things for a nigga to have to do. Like, hey, motherfucker, man, yeah, I was an addict, man. I was out here, man. You know, they'll say all types of stuff, but I was a coon? Nope. 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 Won't do it. But I'm here to help identify the coon, kill the coon. That's my job. Look at look at my little picture right here. This is the B123 flag right here. You're talking about flags. This the flag right here. Identify the coon, chase that motherfucker down, and kill it. That's what we doing here. It is what it is. Whether you're an oblivious coon or a quite purposeful coon. Cooing, to me, cooing, it explains a lot of the behavior that black folk engage in, even the self-destructive behaviors as to being an alcoholic or a drug addict and things like that. The only way you're going to destroy your melanin infused vessel that you were sent here in is to be a coon. At the point that you decide that you this man like fuck teeth. Like, I feel like that's the decision a crackhead would make. Like, man, fuck teeth. I'm tired of these motherfuckers, man. I want to destroy my melanin as fast as I fucking can. Fuck teeth. Okay, well pick that pipe up then. You can get rid of them motherfuckers in a couple of weeks, bitch. Uh, but to me, it's all coon shit. At the point that you looking at a black man, you want to kill another black man because they got a blue rag on or a red rag or you from this gang. It's all coon shit. That's how I explain it all. Everything is right traced back to coon shit. You abusing a black woman, you a coon. You abusing a black man, you a coon. Coon. Whole lot of coon shit. Calling black folk broke and all that little coon. Everything. Coon shit. So again, I can't use it to insult somebody. I'm trying to identify the behavior. Just like y'all be swearing black folks need what y'all be talking about nowadays. Black folk need to get mental help, right? Everybody need to, their mental health is a real thing. Well, you know, if you go to any psychiatrist or psychologist or any therapist, you must identify the problem first. And a lot of black folk need to walk in that motherfucker and say, man, I'm a coon. That should be the first. Like, let's look in the how was your relationship with your mother, man? She was a coon too. See, it just don't, it just really explains everything. Oh, you love America? When you start that, you a coon. You see what I'm saying? You believe everything the government say? That's coon shit. Not to insult you, but just to identify this is the behavior that you engage in if you're black. You see what I'm saying? We talk about mental health. Don't nobody ever be talking about no coon shit. And how to stop cooning. Don't nobody want to deal with that shit. Nobody does. So that's what my job is. So understand, If you are here and you believe it, or you've been believing that I call people coons to insult them, I do not. I'm calling them a coon to try to help heal them. That's what I'm trying to do, to try to help heal them. So, but you got to decide, man. That's what the people that's over here B123. That's that's what the game is. I mean, that's what I won't even call it a game. I'll say that's what the challenge is. To recognize you being on a little coon shit in your everyday life, not just coming on my videos and clicking a like button, which I wish y'all would click that like button for me right now if you watching. Um, click that like button for me and everything like that. But don't just come over here clicking and B123 and putting RBG up in the comments. That shit don't mean nothing to me. What you doing at the house? How you raising them children? When you look at the man or woman in the mirror, are you correcting these things? Because I know the system you came through. I know you supposed to be a coon. You supposed to. You supposed to have the same dream that Martin Luther King had. You supposed to have the same one. I know what you're supposed to be. It's a revolutionary act to not be. I know exactly what you're supposed to be. I know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. I know how you was raised. Even though I don't know you directly, I know exactly how you were raised. And it's a revolutionary act to be black, proud of that black, loving that black, and identifying the coon shit that you be on. That's revolutionary. And that makes you more powerful the more work you do it, because it is work. Most definitely. LV says, Rob, if MLK was alive, do you think he would have changed his thoughts about the injustice in this country? Well, it depends on what thoughts you think he had as you asked that question, if that makes sense. Because he was already changing his stance. He was already leaning towards Malcolm X, like, yo, what was you saying about self-defense? What was that? He was leaning into Malcolm. He was leaning in because he saw that he led his people into a burning house. He said that. That's why he was assassinated. It wasn't because he kept having a dream. I'm telling you, it's because he started wiping his eyes. You first wake up, you start wiping your eyes. Vision ain't came in good yet. Everything ain't clear to you yet. It's a little blurry still, but you wiping your eyes trying to get woke up. That's where he was, and they went on ahead and clipped him off before he could get his eyes fully cleaned out. I would think if he'd have kept living, he might have even came up off that Jesus shit he was on. He might have even came up off all of that. I don't know what path he would have been on, but I know he was leaning towards Malcolm because Malcolm was trying to tell him, them Democrats, them liberals, they not for you. They're not for you. They don't give a fuck about you. If they did, they'd be out here trying to end racism. They're not. They want you to shut the fuck up about it. Acknowledge it lightly. Act like it's an isolated event that took place that's over now. That's what the Democrats do. The liberals. He was leaning in. He was. LEK says King admitted we weren't enough in number or armed with enough, and definitely not skilled enough to win a violent confrontation. This is not. Here's the thing, man, and this is my problem. I've seen a couple of y'all say this. This is not about a violent confrontation. This is not about you running up to a sundown town to burn it down. It's about self-defense. If a motherfucker hits you in the face, you you can't tell me, well, I'm not armed and I don't have the numbers, and I don't give a damn if 3 caves walk up on me right now and one of them motherfuckers push me. I'm not gonna look at them like, well, ain't nothing I can do. It's 3 of y'all, one of me. So I'm gonna just lay down now. Y'all go ahead and stomp me out because y'all got more numbers than me. No, fuck that. And if we actually really being real about this shit, a lot of the slave rebellions that we witnessed happen in the country, and particularly in the South, black people outnumbered the caves in the South. We outnumbered them. Now, we didn't have that mentality. We outnumbered them. So when I talk about when we talk about what Malcolm X was on was self-defense, cool. And what I'm talking about is liberation of the mind, as to not even wanting to be in white areas like that. Defend your area. Don't keep drifting off into their area. Defend yours. That's what we failed at. We didn't defend ours. They were able to come through, bomb it up, tear it up, do whatever the fuck they want to do to it. We didn't defend our areas. And then what we decided was, well, since they keep coming over here beating up on us, we just gonna try to integrate into their areas. And no, I don't think we should have did that. I think we should have held our own and protected our own areas, not causing no violence towards nobody. But motherfucker, you not about to hit me just because it's more y'all. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not with that. I'm not with it. I understand what y'all saying. Brother Martin Luther King was saying we didn't have the numbers, but we had enough numbers for us to unify, though. What we did and what Martin Luther King was responsible for a lot of times would be getting a whole bunch of black people together to march through a white town and get their ass whooped. And that was it. No, no, no. I disagree with that. And I don't give a damn what I guess ideology y'all trying to explain to me that Martin Luther King had. I don't care nothing about none of that. I disagree. I disagree completely. It has nothing to do with violence. I'm not teaching people who watching my channel, B123. I'm not telling you to go out here, go into a majority white area and start fighting. No, I'm telling you to have pride in yourself. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Could just be you by yourself. I be by myself all the time. I'm still gonna have pride. My head gonna be high, and any motherfucker that's try me, they gonna have a fight on their motherfucking hand. Period. I don't give a damn about no numbers. This has everything to do with black pride. Hold your motherfucking head up and be proud and be honest and don't let a motherfucker disrespect you. I don't give a damn hot numbers or not. I don't care nothing about none of that. Don't care nothing about it. We're not talking about a violent confrontation. We're talking about black people needing to stop cooning. I'm at that level. I'm on a very base, a bottom level. I ain't telling nobody to go out here and fight. Now, of course, you stand up for your motherfucking stuff. I ain't telling you to go pick no fight, spit on the caves or nothing like that. I'm telling you to stop cooning. That's a basic level. You don't need numbers to stop cooning. You see what I'm saying? You don't need numbers for that. All that takes is a mentality shift. We got plenty of black people out here focused on securing the bag. When are black people going to secure their black pride, though? When we going to stop selling out? Ain't no white people coming to threaten your life to make you sell out, but black people still selling out every day. That's what I'm talking about. This ain't got nothing to do with no damn violence. Nothing to do with violence at all. The fact that black people act like it's impossible is what somebody earlier asked me if we're doomed. If black people stay in this mentality, yeah, we are. I hate to admit it too. That shit breaks my heart to admit that. But if we stay in this mindset, we're done. we're completely done. We are done. Because you don't have to, you could just not be a coon. Like, do the work. Raise your kids to be to not be coon. That it doesn't I mean, it doesn't require violence unless somebody bring the smoke to you. Because I'm gonna tell you something about black folk. You ask a black woman, she'll kick a bitch ass if she's black. You ask a black man, he'll kick a nigga ass if he black. So what I notice is that we got all this bravery and smoke when it comes to other black folk. Ain't that interesting? When it comes to other black folk, we got all the smoke in the world. Better not a bitch disrespect me. Man, what the fuck that nigga looking at? Like, what? The cave hole been disrespecting you your whole life. The white man been looking at you like you ain't worth a fuck your whole life. In an instance, though, you ready to fight somebody black. Come on now. Come on now. This ain't got nothing to do with numbers. It's about a mentality shift, and that's what I'm about. That's what B123 is about. Because the only reason you look at your brother or sister like that is because you're a fucking coon, and you don't know no better. Maybe you don't know no better. Maybe you don't even recognize it. Like, damn, why do I got smoke for black folk like this? Like, white man and his mama treat me like shit, all my life, and I got all the smoke for the black folk. You see what I'm saying? But if we keep this mindset, it's a wrap, yo. It's a wrap. I'm still gonna try. No, this is not gonna stop me from trying. I'm still gonna try. I'm gonna try to be that beacon of hope for our people. But if you can't tell me that I gotta let myself be subject to somebody else's will. If they run up on me on some physical altercation shit because there's more of them. No, I'm getting me some licks off. I'm getting me some licks off, and I'm gonna try my best to break something. I've been taught that from when I was a young man. You try to break something on somebody, one of them motherfuckers. You might not can't beat 5 motherfuckers at once, but you can try to break something on one of them bitches so they remember. Yeah. And now they know, well, he ain't the. It's the same way that bullies work, right? Bullies don't really want to fight. Like, you deal with bully psychology, bullies don't really want to fight. They want to chase after the motherfucker that's running from them. That's what bullies really want. They don't want no hands. They don't want no motherfucking altercation for real. The motherfucker's lazy. They don't really want that. So even if you lose the motherfucking fight, even if you don't win the fight, put up a fight. The bully gonna choose the motherfucker that's not putting up a fight. That's letting you motherfucking, getting pushed around and shit like that. Easy targets. That's who bullies go after. That's who bullies go after. I'm not gonna be no easy target to nobody. I'll be damned. I'm not teaching that. I'm not the biggest motherfucker in the world. I ain't saying I can kick everybody ass in the world. None of that. But I will not be bullied. And I know how bullies think. They don't want to fight. Liberated soul rebel. That's real. Says I'm hopeless. That's why I got off social media for some years. Got back on because even though I'm hopeless, I can't just sit to the side and watch the destruction of our community. Respect to you. Some people deem it, it's a lost cause and they ain't got time to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. But when I look at the people that was here before me, I can't see me just not saying anything. I gotta at least try. That's how I feel. I gotta at least try. I mean, some of the people, some of the great people we've had, I mean, they gave their entire lives, whether they were taken out by this fucked up whole ass government, or of old age. They tried the whole time. And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going. They could have not said shit. They could have just made sure they was straight, their family was straight, but they couldn't just sit by. They had to let their voice be heard, even though they knew black people wasn't paying them no fucking attention. And I know black people ain't paying them no attention to this very day because everything has already been said. And black folk, still, you see what I'm saying? So, Desmond Fox said, I gave up. But you hear, you see what I'm saying? You think you gave up, Desmond Fox, but you're here on my channel and you know what I talk about. So you still want to hear, somebody speaking this way. You didn't come over here to hear me talk about how much of a bitch ass, hoe ass nigga Kanye is for chasing after that cave ass ex-wife of his. You didn't come over here to listen to me talking no damn gossip. That ain't why you came over here. You came over here to hear me talk like this, to talk about real life shit that's going on with black people and try to motivate black people. So you think you gave up. You may not be doing it yourself, but you here listening to me. And if you could do me a favor and hit that white button, or hit that white button. I'm reading this fucking comment. Ryan, fuck, hit that like button. This dude talking about, hey, Rob, some white girls be fine. Come on, dog. What the fuck does fineness got to do with them being caves? Like, what does that have to do with them being caves? I didn't call the bitch ugly. I said she was a cave. And right now you're exhibiting some coon shit. This is what I'm talking about, Ryan. I mean, not coon shit, anti-black shit. No one told you to come cape for that bitch. Nobody even called her ugly. Like, nobody called her ugly. Now you gotta check your coon at the door, or your anti-blackness since you mulatto. Check your anti-blackness at the door. You came in with your cape of flapping for Kim Kardashian, and I ain't even called a bitch ugly. I just called her a cave. See? You see how quickly you could be on some shit that just you might not even been paying attention to that, but that bitch didn't need your saving just then. See? I didn't say all white cave hoes was ugly hoes. I never said that. They fail in comparison to black women, if you ask me, and can't do shit about it. Whether they tan, get surgeries or not, they can't do shit about that black woman still shining on her whole ass. But I never said all them hoes was ugly, but you felt the need to say that. You see what I'm saying? But you say you 24% cave, so maybe that's that little piece of cave came out of you to defend those women. See? See? That's what I'm here for. You might not would have noticed that if I didn't show you. But people don't come over here on my channel to hear me talk about no gossip, even though I could. I could talk about Kanye and him clearly, stalking this cave bitch of his ex-wife cave hoe, and she done found her a fellow cave apparently. And I don't want to know this information, but it's just it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I could come over here and do gossip, but y'all didn't come over here to listen to me do gossip. So if you hear, you didn't give up because you're still you giving me your listening ear. You see what I'm saying? You giving me your listening ear, and you don't have to. See? So I fuck with you for being here. I appreciate everybody that's here. I'm actually about to get off here. I've been on here for 2 hours. I want to end by saying that my dream is a little different, not only from MLK's famous speech, but for many black people out here to this very day. I do believe that because my dream is different, because I'm anti-coon, that's going to keep me from getting to the level in which where I'm reaching the would-be masses of black people. But I do appreciate the people that come over here and spend this time with me. Black people, if you are listening to my channel, please check your coon. Just do it tonight before you go to sleep. Just check it. Check your coon. Because he might be in there. He or she might be in there. And it might need to be motherfucking checked. Check it. Look at it. Get your hands around that motherfucker's throat and begin to choke the fucking life out of it. Because that's what it's going to take. That's my dream. That we would do this in a mass. Like most black people just, you just choking that motherfucker. Choking that motherfucker out. Because that's what it's going to take. We're going to be stagnant until this part of the work is done. Mad love. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Links to follow me everywhere in the description box. If you want to send me an email, that is also in the description box. To give any donations, all those things are in the description box. Mad love to y'all. I will see y'all next time. Shout out to Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. I'm out.